One of the hardest things to do when you move to a new city or you decide to start out martial arts for the first time is finding a good gym to train at. So today we're going to talk about the most common red flags that should tell you this gym, it's no good. If you're relatively experienced in the martial arts world, it's very often easy to go into a class at a new gym and make a very fast assessment. But if you are relatively new or brand new and it's your first class, when you walk in, you have no idea how good somebody is and if this is going to be a good gym that is going to help you build your skill set. Now, throughout the years, training at many different studios, being around many different coaches, I have noticed things that constantly come up where I go, this is not a good gym. Or I end up at a gym where none of the things we're going to talk about today ever come up. And I go, I'm going to recommend this gym to anybody who lives in this area. And the first thing that I want you to focus on is if your coach never spars. If you see a coach in a gym and he never moves with anybody else, yes, there could be other reasons. Maybe he's just very tired of sparring from his long-winded career. He has injuries, he can't. But if they don't already have all those accolades to their name and they're not sparring, very often it's because they're worried about their skills being put to the test against their students and then coming out on the bottom. A lot of people like this have big egos. They do not want to share their skill set. They can talk a big game, but they can't back it up. Let your coach get on the floor, move around, teach people, shows he doesn't have a big ego, shows he's not scared to take a little shot or two, and usually it should show that he is the best, if not one of the best, in the room. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is related to martial arts. Remember, if it's kickboxing and Muay Thai, these are still martial arts and there should still be a level of respect. I have been to gyms where you go to adult classes and you go, wow, this isn't run very well, and you're not seeing the respect that the instructor deserves. So when you walk into a gym, take a look at their kids program. Go, what kind of respect are the kids giving to their instructor? And basically, if you see a very well-run kids class, you will probably see a very structured, well-run, with lots of respect, adult class. And I believe that is something which should happen in any martial arts class when there's an instructor who has discipline and wants that respect, which should be given. The next thing which really bugs me, and you should be on the lookout for, is coaches who own gyms who don't allow cross-training. They don't allow their students to go to other gyms. And this is usually because they're very worried their students are going to see, ooh, this gym is better, and they're going to jump ship. The people who go, okay, you know what? I don't care if my students go to other gyms because number one, it's going to help their skill set. Hopefully they'll get better sparring against other people, learning other things. But number two, they'll come back here when they realize it's the best gym. They're that confident. And that is something which you should be looking for. If you have somebody who's like, no, you can't train anywhere else, and they don't have any reason why, if somebody says to you like, yeah, don't go to that gym, they spar way too hard, okay, that makes sense. But if they just absolutely no, you cannot go anywhere else, that is a massive red flag in my opinion. The next thing that you should be looking for is who are the highest skill level people in the gym and how good are they? You want to have people when you enter a gym who are very high level, people who are going to challenge you. If you come into the gym as a beginner or an intermediate in your mind and you are beating everybody else there, that's not the gym for you. You don't want to be the best at the gym unless you are a world-class person already. You want a room filled with super high level guys. So check out the skill level of the highest people in the room, the people who, maybe not black belts because they don't do belts and ranks in that way in Muay Thai and kickboxing, the people who are those high skill level guys who everybody else looks up to. The next red flag that you should be on the lookout for is people are constantly getting injured. Now, yes, this is a martial art and people are going to get hurt, but it shouldn't be happening every class. And I've heard of gyms. I know a gym in town, I used to train at this gym, where time after time after time, I've heard from people that guys are walking out with bloody noses, legs are getting sweat, people are falling and hurting themselves, people are getting crunched ribs. The sparring is just way too intense and there's not that level of caution which should be required when you are a coach at a gym. You should just be looking around going, guys, this is ridiculous. Why are we all leaving getting injured? That's not what this is about. This is about elevating our skill level, not about pummeling each other into the ground. So if you see people injured after a sparring session, that's not for you. Next red flag is be on the lookout for contracts. These big, lengthy contracts that you have to sign if you want to join the gym. In my experience, very often, the best gyms are kind of like, yeah, come in, try a couple classes, sign up for a month, pay as you go. They're very relaxed about the whole thing. And then the McDojos, or the ones that are not as good, they really want to lock you in because they know you're not going to want to stick around once you realize how mediocre the quality of instruction is. And anybody who's good, whose skill level rises, they want to be out of there very fast. So avoid those lengthy contracts and treat them as an absolute massive red flag. The next thing that you should be looking for is a lack of credentials in the instructors. Now, that's not to say that people need to have a bunch of world titles to be good instructors. That helps, in my opinion, very often. If you have somebody who's done a lot of things like this, yeah, they can probably teach you a lot. That doesn't mean they're necessarily a great instructor, but they have knowledge. That's for sure. Can they impart that knowledge? That's a different story. But if they have it, there's something there that you can grab. And if not, if they don't have all those credentials, then start searching around for other members in the gym and see if the coach has helped them build up their credentials. And it doesn't need to be, again, world titles, but it could be local titles, state titles. Something like that is definitely going to be like, ooh, they've got some good guys here. And the coaches are helping their students get to that high level. If nobody has achieved anything, then just recognize that you're walking into a gym that's going to be for fun. But your skill level is never going to grow to the point where you can get in the ring and you can win fights. And speaking of fights, be cautious of gyms where they require you to compete. Now, that might sound like a good thing initially. You're like, oh yeah, this gym is so confident, they have all their members compete. But very often, in my opinion, when you hear about things like that, it's the coach almost going, yeah, we want to rake in all the trophies we can, all the medals, so we can show everybody else how good we are. Martial arts should not be about that. Some people want to compete, some people want to do it just for fun, and there should be both options open, so be on the lookout for that. The final thing, the final red flag, which I want to touch on today, is the lack of hygiene in a gym. Why is this a big red flag? I have been to a couple spectacular gyms where the hygiene level was very, very low. But guess what? Eventually ringworm starts getting passed around and then you have to stay home and you have to miss training sessions. It's nice to be places where things are clean. And yeah, ringworm is bad. Something like staph is much, much worse. And you don't want that in your life. So take a look around. Oh yeah, this place is fairly clean. In between classes, are they spraying it down? Are they sanitizing? Are they giving the floor a wipe? Are they cleaning pads after? This is all things which should be done, and if not, red flag. And that is the end of the episode. I hope this helps you make a decision in where you're going to train. Find you a great gym in either your new city or the city which you've lived in as you start into your martial arts career or journey forward. If you guys enjoyed the episode, please give it a like. I will see you back here soon for another episode.